How do we build a nation that thrives on both excellence and resilience? Today, we're taking a closer look into the power of collaboration in shaping a future where innovation, determination, and unity create lasting success. This is Building Together, cultivating a collaborative culture of excellence and resilience in education. Join us as we explore how cultivating a culture of excellence and resilience can drive progress and elevate the Bahamas to new heights. Keep watching. A brand new episode of You and Your Money starts now.
You and Your Money is brought to you by the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training.
Welcome to You and Your Money, everyone. Joining us today to talk about 21st century learner preparing the next generation for a global workforce are Mrs. Vanessa James-Rolle, Coordinator of the Enrichment and Enhancement Unit, and Mrs. Finesse Butler-Rahming, Business Studies Subject Coordinator at the D.W. Davis Junior High School. Mrs. James-Rolle and Mrs. Butler-Rahming, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Mrs. James-Rolle, now, who is the 21st century learner and what characteristics set them apart from previous generations?
So really, the 21st century learner is someone who is a lifelong learner. And a lot of what I will share with you briefly is embedded in the philosophy of what we at the Ministry of Education believe education should do for students. So that person is a lifelong learner, constantly assessing what skills are needed, making the necessary adjustments. The lifelong learner is also someone who's very collaborative. They work interdependently and they see the need to share information but also glean from others. And the lifelong learner is someone who's a part of a global society, and a lot of what they do is embedded in technology.
Well, definitely I can appreciate the lifelong learner. How does the enrichment programs offered by the department help in developing the necessary skills and knowledge for these 21st century learners?
And so we've dubbed our team Reimagine. And what we're seeking to do every day is to really creatively and innovatively think about what it is we can do to undergird or give support to the academic programs that are offered by the Ministry of Education. And so we have programs that are part of that unit, such as the Spelling Bee. We have the National Speech and Debate. We have a new program that is out catering specifically to our high flyers called the Bahamas Public School Honor Society. We have also programs that are geared for those persons that need the extra support. So we have our after school literacy and numeracy program. We have our summer school program, which is called the Extended Learning Academies. We even have clubs and organizations that foster a lot of collaboration and student-led initiatives. And we have the beautification programs, just to name a few.
Well, definitely it sounds as if you have a whole plethora of programs being offered to students. Now, can you explain how these programs contribute to making students more competitive in a global workforce and adaptable to rapid technological advancements?
Yes, I can. But before I go into it, I just want to quickly say, we can say we have three types of students in every classroom. Mm-hmm. We have the one that needs the extra support and guidance as it relates to the pathway they are to go. Mm-hmm. And that is where the teacher really needs to have a hands-on approach. We have the student who comes with the goals already in mind, and they just need the extra support. And then we have the child that is gifted, and they actually can keep the teacher on their toes and they can facilitate learning of other persons. And so when we think about the programs that we offer, we must think about where most of our children garner their information. It's really from the platforms that are there, the social media platforms and the like. And so what we seek to do is to create a marriage of sorts or build that bridge that is needed knowing that technology is the age that these children have been grown or brought up in. And so when I think about the programs we offer, we look at how can we offer after-school literacy and numeracy program to a child using technology, because we know that is the platform that they are familiar with. How can we, in organizing our clubs and in partnering with civic organizations, have students lead? What's going on now is a whole lot of individuals who, they say to you, look, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be someone who is known to be out there in the social sphere. And so we need to ask ourselves the question, how can we do that? And so every day we're seeking to do that. We have something that we're implementing even within our after-school program that is called Success Maker. And that platform is technology-based. So the hope is that a child enters a room with a computer, it's self-assessment that's going on, and the teacher really serves as the facilitator.
Well, definitely, we can say, kudos to you and your team for a job well done in terms of having to incorporate the technology, because that's the way of the future, right? Now, Mrs. Butler-Rahming, what specific skills and areas of focus are emphasized in the business studies program to ensure students are prepared for the workforce in the Bahamas?
Well, at the Ministry of Education, there are actually 4 pathways available to business studies students. The first is business management. I won't go into detail with each one because it's really a lot of information to discuss, but I will definitely highlight the important aspects that do assist our students with reaching the goals as business students within the system. The first is business management. This encompasses economics, accounts, and my favorite, computer studies, along with some keyboarding. They carry examinations, national examination, economics, and obviously bookkeeping and accounts. But the plus when it comes to this program, they're also able to sit the city and guilds pitments. And these are highly respected national examinations that businesses actually look forward to seeing on a student's resume. I also want to highlight entrepreneurship, which is not only just for the business students. The beauty of this particular subject, we offer it to non-business programs such as cosmetology, and I've had experiences of teaching tech students, and you would be surprised how much it inspires them to go into their own businesses. They're not just about their program, but they're now thinking on a higher level as it relates to functioning in a successful economy. The second pathway would be office administration. This focuses basically on interpersonal skills and communications. So you would see them taking courses in OP, office procedures. They still take the accounts, and they do commerce. And what I love about this is it allows work experience for the 12th graders, which is very much needed, because it's one thing to teach a child in a class, and then it's another thing for them to experience it for themselves. Because we can give the child a recipe, but until they mix the batter and go to that hot oven, they don't know what it is to have the gift of knowing I created something edible. And that is what we're trying to put within each of the programs. The third one is basically focused on magnet programs. The 3 schools would be C.I. Gibson, which does coding. I will highlight Java, which has been used for 2 decades now, highly respected in the web community. We also have HTML, another web development coding program, but I love Python because Python is used in various platforms, inclusive of machine learning. So we're not just getting them ready for web development. We want to prep these kids to go into AI. We want them to think beyond what the average person is expecting of them. And Anatol is one of those schools that is included, as well as they do IT. within their programming, which teaches information security and so forth, which is very important. And our fourth being business with modern languages. Now, this is important, especially in the fact that our #1 industry is tourism. And I actually have worked in a hotel before, and I did not see the value of taking Spanish for 3 years until I actually had to learn how to speak Spanish just to direct a guest to which room they're at, find out what color bags they were. The basics were so embedded in me. And for the ministry to have an actual program that allows these children to learn French and Spanish is so advantageous. It is wonderful to know that a lot of examinations are being developed, such as the entrepreneurship. We have 100% passes in office procedures and bookkeeping. We look forward to more certifications, especially in coding. Trust me, it's exciting. It's very exciting.
Now, after having completing the business studies program, I mean, obviously there's so much to be offered, or so much that is being offered. Do you believe that students are equipped to effectively join the workforce in the Bahamas and compete globally? And if so, how?
I honestly do believe, because theoretically, we've laid the foundation for them. I also want to add in that I think it's important to understand the whole concept of it takes a village to raise a child. So we, as the parenting part in the education, we can only do so much. If we are to work along with organizations that have these expectations for these students to be ready, I think we would be more powerful. So I'm delivering the information in the class, giving all these analogies, I'm assessing, I'm testing, they're passing. Now we want them to get to the point where they can actually hold the hand of these potential employers. And even if it comes with the development, and I'm speaking on the how right now, of internships, something that will help to link the kids from the classroom into the real world besides just 1 or 2 days of work experience, I feel the impact would be more powerful. So they're getting the foundation, but now it's time for us to partner with these same industries that look forward to the output that we produce.
Mrs. James-Rolle and Mrs. Butler-Rahming, thank you for joining me on the show today.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you. We have to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll look at bridging education and employment, the role of career and technical education. This is You and Your Money. We'll be right back.
I can't believe how big Christopher's gotten. He'll soon be ready for college.
Not at the rate I'm going. I'm praying for an athletic scholarship.
It's never a bad time to start saving. I just started Nicole on a college savings plan. I have options based on her age. It contains a mix of stocks, bonds, however you choose.
Mommy, come push me.
I'm coming.
Girl, how do you know all of this? What's Leno?
Join us for 𝗖𝗎𝗓 Business Outlook, October 17th at Grand Isle Resort. Find out what is driving positive change for the future of 𝗖𝗎𝗓. Keynote speaker MP for 𝗖𝗎𝗓 and Deputy Prime Minister 𝗖𝗛𝗥𝗘𝗧𝗏. Engage with panelists and presenters on better outcomes for the economy, business development, sustainable infrastructure, airports and airlift, technology, and more. Register today at tclevents.com.
Welcome back to You and Your Money. In this segment, we'll be having a conversation with the subject coordinator of Hospitality and Tourism Studies at Anatole Rogers High School, Mrs. Keishla Goodman-Cash, and the head of agriculture, Mr. Shomekhan Cargill. We'll be discussing bridging education and employment, the role of career and technical education. Now, Mrs. Goodman-Cash, how is your instructional program designed to provide students with the skills necessary to become global citizens and 21st century learners?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. It's good to talk about what we're doing in the high school as we prepare our students for the world of hospitality and tourism studies. And so as we know, tourism is our #1 industry, so we try to integrate technology we try to give more practical components, as well as we ensure that they're certified by the end of their 12th grade year for industry workforce.
Now, what credentials are students attaining that qualify them as ready for the workforce?
So we have a good partnership with the American Hotel Lodging Association. That is the internationally accredited program for hospitality around the world. And we have certain certifications that students can take, varying from the kitchen cook, the restaurant server, guest service gold, front office, representative, and even housekeeping, guest service attendant. And what we try to do is ensure that those students, our students, take those certifications that marry skills to what is seen inside of the hospitality industry. It is the preferred certification for hotels that exists now, such as the Bahamas and the Atlantis Resort. We also certify our students with the Bahamas Host Program in collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism. And so we try to give them that practical experience as well as theory in order to survive as entrepreneurs as well as in the workforce.
Have you found great success with persons who would have completed the program or received the certifications?
Definitely. We've actually had students that went overseas to college, and those certifications would have enabled them to get exemptions from some of their courses and be advanced to the other levels. We've had success stories of our students coming straight out of high school, and because of the certifications, they not only had entry level, but they were able to fast track into the industry based on the knowledge and skills that would have been attained from those certifications.
Now, Mr. Cargill, what credentials or certifications are students in your program able to attain which qualify them as ready for the workforce?
Well, that's a great question. And first of all, I want to say thanks for having me. It's great to be here. I teach grades 7 and 9. It's a junior high school, so they don't directly usually get qualifications. What our emphasis is exposing them to the different aspects of agriculture to help them prepare for the next step, senior high school and then further on. So by exposing them to different avenues, whether it be animal production or plant production, they're able to kind of pick career paths that kind of make it easier for them to figure out what trajectory they want to go on. So some students end up taking the City and Guild exam or basically preparing themselves for entering BAMSI or in UB. Some students go off directly from high school, so that's kind of what's happening currently in agriculture. I know that there is plans to create job readiness programs to allow like a gap year after post-graduation in order to create ease of job readiness in the agricultural sector, specifically for the government. So becoming agricultural attendants or basically getting more hands-on experience after graduation.
Now, what paths do students typically take once completing this program?
After they finish the junior high school program at HO-Nash, they tend to, those who are serious about agriculture would have to pick a magnet school. So magnet schools in the senior high school are those that are specifically geared towards specific subject, in this case agriculture, like CV Bethel has a very strong program, and GHS. And then they would go on to develop a more in-depth exposure and in-depth knowledge of the sector.
Well, Mrs. Goodman-Cash and Mr. Cargill, thank you for joining me on the show today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
We have to take another break, and when we come back, we'll discuss career pathways for 21st century learners from school to workforce success. This is You and Your Money. We'll be right back.
Thanks, Michelle.
Hey, congratulations on your new promotion.
Even I was surprised.
What are you going to do with that new windfall of yours?
You mean like investing in stocks and bonds?
Yes, you might want to consider investing in mutual funds. Money's a pool to invest in financial assets that fit your investment profile. Start your journey to financial freedom.
How do you know all this? What's Leno?
Join us for 𝗖𝗎𝗧𝗛 Business Outlook, October 17th at Grand Isle Resort. Find out what is driving positive change for the future of 𝗖𝗎𝗧𝗛. Keynote speaker MP for 𝗖𝗎𝗧𝗛 and Deputy Prime Minister 𝗖𝗛𝗥𝗚𝗚𝗑𝗡𝗅. Engage with panelists and presenters on better outcomes for the economy, business development, sustainable infrastructure, airports and airlift, technology, and more. Register today at tclevents.com.
Welcome back to You and Your Money, everyone. Cosmetology Studies teacher from C.R. Walker High School, Mrs. Janet Grant, is here with us. In the previous segments, we spoke about 21st century learner, preparing the next generation for a global workforce, and bridging education and employment, the role of career and technical education. In this segment, I want us to talk about the career pathways for 21st century learners from school to workforce success. Mrs. Grant, welcome to the show.
It is good to be here.
Now, can you share with us how the cosmetology program is designed to foster the development of 21st century learners?
The cosmetology program is designed by practical skills, integrating technology, modern skills, critical thinking. And this can be done by hands-on, such as makeup, nail care, massage therapist, and the list goes on. And so they are equipped for the 21st century. Students use the digital platform to help to advance their learning skills. C.R. Walker right now is the first pilot school for 𝗖𝗎𝗓. They're on 𝗖𝗎𝗓, this digital platform where they do their assignments, quizzes, tests, exam. Also, they have videos as well too. Each video has practical steps, practical procedures to help with learning. The program encourages problem solving, students to create their own technique and styles in terms of entrepreneurial skills and business skills. Students are taught how to manage their own business, customer service, entrepreneurship. Before students leave C.R. Walker at the end of the third year, they are to present a business card, a price list, also a floor plan. This will help them when they have done their studies at high school. They will have these other basic tools that they need to start their business. We have open house where students bring in clients to come to get additional service done, and all of this help with practical. All of the practicals they have been taught during the year, they put that practice, they put all of that into practice. And so the class is actually set up like a business. We have a receptionist, persons will come and they're booked, or they're booked online, send their message and their appointment in, and so it is set up like a business. And they were able to put all of that skills that they have been taught into practice. And so with all of this combination, students, the learners, they are equipped and they're ready to be successful in today's workforce.
Now, what path is usually taken by students after completing the cosmetology studies program?
After they have completed the 3-year program at C.R. Walker, students are encouraged to go to BTVI, where they can further their studies, or they can go away off to college to further their studies. And if they cannot do none of those, I encourage students to work in a salon, work with someone to gain more experience, more training that they can get. And like I always say to my students, you can, once you leave school, you can be the best hairstylist, the best cosmetologist, the best nail technician, because they have the tools, they have the necessary tools they need to become the best in the field of cosmetology. My students, I always say to them, you must have a passion for what you do. When they have that passion, they will be successful. They will succeed in today's workforce. At C.R. Walker, one of the top high school in cosmetology, the best students normally put their foot forth and they do what they have to do. Right now, we have students that are actually working, doing summer jobs, working and making their monies.
This month is Cosmetology Month, where we have guest speakers coming in. We have field trips. One of our field trips right now, just planned last week at a particular workplace, students will be making their own body lotion. That will help them even put them on the market. They can sell their products. And so this month, we are focusing on the month of cosmetology, the students, where they'll be better themselves in their skills.
Now, as you talk about having to better themselves as it relates to their skills, how does the cosmetology program teach the practical skills and new industry trends to help students stay competitive in the beauty field?
Once we have done with a particular topic, if it's hair coloring, we allow students to work on live model. So we bring in clients from the outside, and they worked on those clients. First of all, they will start off on mannequins. They will do their practical on mannequin. Then they will advance and move from mannequin to a live model. And then we have persons who come in to assist and to help mold our students.
Well, Mrs. Grant, thank you for joining me on the show today.
It's a pleasure being here, and thank you.
Equipping our students with the right skills is the key to shaping their future success. The 21st century learner is more adaptable and globally competitive, thanks to innovative programs in our schools. Let's continue to support their growth and invest in the education that prepares them for tomorrow's world. Here are our dollars and cents snapshots from this week's show. Number 1, future-ready skills. Preparing 21st century learners with the tools they need to thrive in an ever-evolving global workforce. Number 2, career pathways. Specialized programs like business studies and cosmetology equip students with practical skills and industry certifications, paving the way for future success. Number 3, global competitiveness. By fostering adaptability and innovation, education programs are ensuring that students can compete both locally and globally. That's it for today's show. Don't forget to follow You and Your Money on Facebook and tune in next week for a brand new episode. I'm Ria Christina. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
You and Your Money was brought to you by the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training.